in the shooting at the end of practice. What was his availability today?
He did some of the non-contact stuff in practice, so he did a little bit, yeah.
Is this the first time that he's done that?
Yeah, with the team, yes.
I saw DV speaking with Cam, Bilal, and CJ, I believe. Was that just running through different sets, or was that more stylistic, philosophical?
I don't know. I actually didn't see that, so I don't know the answer. So I'll have to ask him after what that was. I didn't see it.
What looks different to you about Alex's shot this year?
His shot? I have not thought about it.
His shooting mechanics? Like, does anything look different to you?
I have not thought about it.
Have you noticed any significant development team-wide from the beginning of training camp last week to now?
Anything significant? I just think we're getting in better condition. You know, we've had a nice long week of practice last week, and then we're able to get up and down on Saturday. Developing good chemistry. The guys are in here every day working extremely hard. Just pleased with their intensity and their focus. Like I said, I think it's nice to have a lot of returning guys that know some of the stuff that we're doing, and they can also help with some of the new guys that are here. So that stuff's all been helpful.
Come here. Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
Jameer Watkins gotten after it on the defensive end as much as you guys had anticipated?
Yeah, he's been great. That's what he does. You guys saw that in summer too. You know, that's kind of why he's here. But that's a physicality about him, presence defensively, the feel not there. He's a very competitive guy.
Talk about the fact of picking Chris's brain, especially both being second-round picks, him being on the two-way and utilizing the G League to his advantage, and just asking Chris those types of questions. How interesting, especially with the types of rookies you've seen over your career, having guys so young that are so willing to ask questions and want to gather the information that they do.
I think that's a great skill to have. You know, as a curiosity, you want to learn. You don't think you have all the answers. I think that's how you get better in things. We have a lot of guys like that, and then obviously we have some guys who have some tremendous experience that they can ask them questions about. Hey, and those guys are willing to share. Those are great things to have within your team. So that stuff makes you feel good when you do that.
Is it, I don't know if odd is the right question, but is it also beneficial in the sense of guys who are as deep in their career as they are, the willingness that they have to share the information? Because that doesn't seem like it's too overly common as well too, with such a young group of players.
Yeah, it just speaks to the high character. We have a lot, Chris gets brought up a lot for that, for sure. Obviously now we have CJ, but Anthony Gill. Corey's not, in that age range, but Corey's been around here for a little bit. He's a professional, so he adds to that. So we have, Marvin's been around in the NBA, so we have some guys who have a lot of experience, and they're all willing to share. I think that's great.
First preseason game is Sunday.
Yeah.
Over the next 6 days, what are you looking to fine-tune?
Just sharpen the blade on everything that we're working on offensively and defensively. It's a great time for coaches. We love this time. This is we get to teach, implement, set the standard for what we're doing. We're very pleased with all that. So just take it day by day and get better. We got better today. Looking forward to tomorrow already.
The young guys who played internationally this offseason, what do you hope they pull from that?
I think those things are great experiences. You're getting to represent your country. I think there's nothing better than that. Like, that's amazing stuff. Two, there's pressure to that. Like, there's a responsibility you feel when you put that jersey on. And then those games are elimination games. So, there's pressure involved in that. So I think all that stuff is great. I was thrilled that they all got a chance to do that this summer. I think there's just going to be a lot of benefits from that. You learn by playing, but the responsibility, the pressure, all those things you can't simulate in a gym, just in the summertime. So I think that was great.
John, you talked about the pace and how that's set out. You guys want to play fast, obviously.
Yeah.
What are the things that you look for with the team that, okay, we're playing fast and we're doing it within structure?
It's how fast we can, if we can get some shots early, and then if we don't, are we organized? And we're in the right spacing to be able to make the necessary reads. So those are the two things I look for, is that if we can score in the first 6 seconds or so, and if not, are we organized to continue to play in half-court pace? It's not just run down and play fast and take the first shot is, can you play fast in the half court? Ball movement, next action, penetration. You want to exhaust the shot clock to get great shots. So it's not just get it up there quickly. It's get up quickly if you have a good one, great. If not, continue to play with pace in the half court, which is basically ball and player movement. So those are the things I look at.
How about the significance of Tristan getting to spend time with and play with Jokic?
I mean, those are great experiences. I mean, you know, one of the best teams in the world you got to play on, for sure. Obviously playing with one of the best players in the world, coaching, so I think all those things are great.
Is it? I feel like I should know this question, but I don't, so I'm still going to ask it. Is it possible to play with pace on the defensive end to try to dictate what the offense wants to do to work to your advantage, especially knowing that you guys do have the disadvantage on the rebounding aspect?
And if you really measure pace, like how the NBA measures, it's the amount of possessions. So if you can turn people over, that can get the pace of the game going up fast too. So that's something we want to do better this year. Being more disruptive. I thought we showed some growth with that at the end of last year, but some we have to get better at. We know that can drive it.
Is that the number that you guys look at when you're trying to identify, like when you guys talk about playing with pace? Is it number of possessions for you guys?
Well, that's just the NBA measurements. Like if you rank and pace, it's literally the number of possessions. So that's one way that drives it. That's going to be driven by how quickly you're shooting the ball, the turnovers, and changing the possession of that. For us, there's a couple of other things we measure, like we talked about, like how fast we're getting into our offense, how many shots we're getting in the first 6 seconds. So there's different ways of measuring it. Even this, the half-court pace. So it's not. There's different things you can use. That's just the NBA's measure. That's how they do it.
Do you guys measure half-court pace?
We have some stuff we do with that, but I'm not going to give away the answers to those tests on that stuff.
How do you evaluate Alex as a switch defender?
Pretty good. We wanted to see if he could do it. First of all, we put him on opening night. I can remember him last night switching those guys against Boston. We think he can switch 1 through 5. I think the numbers bear that out pretty well too. But we'll see more of that for him. That's one of his keys. Is he's versatile. He can obviously protect the rim. We know that, but he can also guard on the perimeter. So it's nice to have that versatility.
What enables him to do that at the height that he has?
Some of it's, he has some physical gifts. Obviously, his speed, his quickness. There's also mentality to it. Like, not everybody wants to do that. I think he has a defensive mentality. He understands that that's an important part for his game.
Can you talk about the role of Alexis Adjunsa on your staff? Does he bring a different vision, given that he's French,
Did you say Alexis?
Alexis Adjunsa,
yes. Alexis has been terrific. Alexis, he played in the NBA, so he's got some unique perspectives that I can't speak on, because I did not. And then he's got a unique perspective because the position he played. He's the center. He understands how they function, how they work, so he's got good stuff for us for our staff and for our players. And we do have 3 or 4 guys on our team who do speak French. That's it's helpful. Like when Bilal was here as a rookie, he was the only one, and I'm sure then we added Keyshawn, who also speaks French. We know that Alex obviously does. But adding him to the staff, just gives another person they can communicate with, but on top of, most importantly, all his basketball knowledge. But he's been terrific.
Tristan talked about how he feels like he's matured from last year to this one. Where are you seeing that show up?
He just has a better understanding of what we're doing offensively and defensively. Being more consistent with those things. So that's to me, it's always about your actions, and those things are just more consistent. So I think that's what it shows.